must have been her imagination. It couldn't be real, could it? Lucy doubted herself. What she had just seen could simply not be believed. Her skin crawled as ripples of imaginary fingers shot up her back and neck. Instantly, her mind raced back to rewind when Grandma died. Among the few coveted possessions she left behind was an old handheld mirror. However, this was no ordinary heirloom. Although the mirror was crusted with age, even an amateur appraisal could deduce that the ornate mirror was once quite beautiful. But this was not the reason Lucy's grandmother coveted the old mirror. "That mirror will show you your sweet reflection, little Lucy, and your imperfections," her grandmother would say. "But if you look closer, it will show you much more." Lucy's grandmother was always a bit creepy, with her quivering cackle of a laugh that could peel the skin off, and how her skin looked like aged, rotting paper. Sometimes Lucy just didn't know when to believe Grandma, or dismiss what she heard as just another one of Grandma's crazy stories. Lucy remembered the first time she held the mirror. She recalled its clearness, its clarity, despite being so old. She remembered seeing her reflection, her little nose, soft and pointy like her mother's, her mouth and lips small, thin and pink, and her overly large ocean blue eyes, sparkling like fireworks when the light hit them right. But there was nothing out of the ordinary staring back at her she hadn't seen before. That is, until tonight. As Lucy prepared for bed, she felt compelled to brush her hair one last time. She would hate to wake up with knots in her hair. Her tiring eyes scanned the dresser before resting on her grandmother's old mirror. Lucy moved closer to pick up the relic. Then she hesitated, because for the briefest moment, she swore she saw a face in the mirror, staring back at her, inside her. She rubbed her eyes in fearful disbelief. Her eyes hazily refocused. The face appeared again. Startled, Lucy threw the mirror on the bed. It couldn't be real, she thought. She gathered her nerve and approached the bed where the mirror lay. She cautiously picked up the old relic. The face reappeared, but this time Lucy held fast to the mirror's handle. The face in the mirror looked eerily like her grandmother's, but different. No, it was Lucy. She was sure of it. But somehow, something was different. She quickly noticed the Lucy in the mirror. Her eyes were missing. The sockets were completely black, like an empty void. Lucy moved the mirror around, examining the strange reflection. The empty sockets quietly clicked as the muscles of the eyeless holes kept their focus on her as she moved the mirror around. Tick, tick, tick. It couldn't be real, could it? Lucy's grandmother's warbled voice rang in her ears. Were her eyes playing tricks on her? She told herself it was a vivid imagination. She just needed sleep. But to be sure, she peered into the mirror once again. Staring deeply into the vacant eyes of this other Lucy, she became lost in its eyeless glare, the constant clicking tendons. Tick, tick, tick. It was rhythmic. She became so lost that she hadn't even realized that her own big blue eyes, sparkles and all, had completely shut tight. She had been too afraid to look. Lucy finally felt the sensation. Her eyes had been shut the whole entire time she held the mirror. She must have imagined that horrible, eyeless version of herself. But her relief was short-lived, for when little Lucy tried to open her eyes, she found them to be already open. Yet inside of peering into her own soft blue ocean-like eyes, she felt the sickening click of her own vacant eye sockets trying desperately to focus. A pretty young girl stared back at Lucy from the mirror, a frozen look of sheer terror on her face, with the only sounds heard coming from her empty eye sockets. Tick, tick, tick.